Welcome to Money First CEO, the podcast for business owners ready to run their business like a boss and make their money work smarter, not harder. I'm Harmon Johnston, bookkeeper, Profit First professional, business coach, and mum of two from Sydney, Australia. I've built a thriving business by mastering money habits and systems that create real freedom. This show will help you take control of your finances so you can build a business and life that truly works for you. Every episode delivers one powerful takeaway you can action right away for more clarity, confidence, and cash. And from time to time, I'll be joined by special guests, fellow entrepreneurs, experts, and real business owners, sharing their money wins, lessons, and insights to inspire your next move. Because when you put money first, you unlock the options and freedom you deserve. So hit follow, grab your coffee, and let's dive in. Hey there, and welcome back to the Money First CEO, where we put money first and the rest will follow. I'm your host, Harmon Johnston, and today we're diving into a topic that gets even the smartest CEOs tangled up. When should I invest in my business and when should I wait? We've all had that moment staring at a sales page, a coach's offer, or a shiny new software thinking, maybe this will be the thing that finally gets me ahead. But here's the deal. There's a smart way to invest and a reactive way. Today we're going to talk about how to invest from strength, not stress, from overflow, not panic. By the end of this episode, you'll know how to tell if now's the right time to invest, plan for big investments with confidence, ask smarter questions before you spend $1, and think like a true CEO when it comes to ROI, your return on investment. So let's get into it. So when to invest versus when to wait? Let's start here. How do you actually know when it's time to invest or time to pause? There's one simple, powerful rule I come back to again and again. Invest from overflow, not from panic. And here's what it means. Investing from overflow, you've got healthy cash reserves. You've planned for this. It's not an impulse. The investment is tied to growth, support, or efficiency. You're moving towards a goal, not running from a problem. So I might just use my examples. So you've got healthy reserves. So I have a separate account where I put money in, and I've actually found a really cool name, and that's what I'm suggesting today. And that's the next best thing. So the goal is that I'm only going to invest in one thing at a time, or plan towards investing in one thing at a time. So I've been putting a small percentage into that account. So I look at what is really causing me concern or stress or something that's been playing on my mind that I need addressed. And then obviously I speak to a few people, see what I need and how much it's going to cost. And then if the money's there, then tick, I've got the cash there to make that decision. So I'm not buying on impulse. I have that need and I'm going to address it. I'm prioritizing to address it. I'm putting money aside and the investment is tied to growth because that is something that will address a concern I currently have. And you're moving towards a goal, which is solving the concern that you have, not running from a problem, and investing for panic. And this is when you're overwhelmed and just want relief or a quick, fix. You're hoping a coach or a course or consultant will fix everything straight away. You don't have the funds, but you're putting it on a credit card and praying that it works. Or you're buying based on fear, not strategy. And hey, I get it. I've been there. I've made those late night panic purchases. But here's a reframe that helped me. Before you buy, pause and ask, am I solving a real problem or reacting to fear? Your money is a tool, it's not a bandage. And that's how we'd like to address it. So we'll talk about smart spending versus emotional buying. We're going to talk from a business point of view, but it applies personally as well. So what's the difference between smart investing and emotional spending? Because they might look the same on the outside, but they come from two totally different places. Smart spending is strategic, planned, measurable, aligned with your goals and cash flow. It's when you're acting from a place of clarity and confidence. And emotional buying is impulsive, driven by FOMO, fear of missing out, or comparison, full of vague promises, triggered by pressure, not purpose. And it sounds like, everyone's hiring, maybe I should too. Or this coach had a 10K day, maybe if I buy their offer, I will too. Or I need something to change right now. And here's a question that helps cut through the noise. If this course, tool, or person disappeared tomorrow, what real problem would I still have? And if that real problem is different to the one you're trying to address, there's your answer. So if you can't answer that clearly, you might not be solving the right thing. And how to plan for big investments. Let's say you do want to invest in a new hire, a website overhaul, a coach, or a marketing consultant. And here's how to approach like a Money First CEO. You need to define the goal. What's the outcome you are looking for? More time, more revenue, more peace of mind? You need to be more specific so that way you can measure. And then you need to budget for it. Instead of waiting until you need the funds, start allocating money today into a dedicated account. So like I mentioned before, I like to call it the next best thing. And that way I'm only addressing one thing at a time. And this is your future investment buffer. And if money's left over, great, it can go towards your next best thing. And maybe you're not sure what you'll do next, a strategist, a contractor, rebrand, but you want to be ready. This account ensures you don't have to scramble or borrow when the right opportunity shows up. It's like your future forward fund, giving you flexibility and not financial friction. So count the non-money costs. Time, training, energy, mental load, especially with new hires. Onboarding takes bandwidth. And sometimes the biggest cost isn't money, it's momentum. So if you are thinking of hiring someone, and that's something I suggest to a lot of my clients, is have an account and start putting in whatever you're looking at paying them and see how the numbers work. Can your business stay profitable and you have the cash buffer still continuing to build while you are taking a certain percentage out to pay this new person you're looking at hiring? And that just makes that decision so much easier because you know that you're still making profit, you're still paying yourself, you've got enough money in the tax account, you're still covering all your expenses, and plus you're paying this new person who you haven't even hired. And then usually when you hire someone in, it takes them about 90 days or 3 months for them to start returning, their ROI starts coming in. So at least have 3 months pay put aside so you're not expecting them to come and start making you money from day one. If they do, great. But if they don't, you've allowed for it. You're giving them time to get trained and you're giving yourself space to be available and present to train them to bring in that ROI. So the last one is create a 90-day return map and ask yourself, what should be different in 90 days? What will things look like? So if you're looking for more money and you're hiring a sales manager or marketing manager, well, is that showing? If you're looking for time, then you're bringing in a VA and in 90 days, have you got time? And, this is how you measure. And if you can't map out what success looks like, it's probably not the right time to say yes. And you have to adopt an ROI mind. So let's shift into what I call the ROI mindset. Every single investment you make, it could be time, money, or energy should come with this question. What's the return on this investment and when will I see it? Now, that return doesn't always mean cash in hand tomorrow. Sometimes it's time back, like I said, mental clarity, increased capacity, a more stable back end, long-term visibility or positioning. And that said, ROI still has to be intentional. Example, you hired a VA and saved 10 hours a month. You use those hours to onboard 2 new clients. Well, there you go. Your ROI is achieved. You buy a $2,000 course, and I'm guilty of these all the time, but you don't have the time to implement. No ROI. It's a loss. And I have to admit, I did sign up for something just before 30th of June because it was a really good offer and I had the money put aside and I signed up and I've got access to the whole course, but I've only watched 2 videos and I feel bad because I've paid a lot of money for it and I really want to do it, but I just don't have the time. And I guess end of financially probably wasn't the best time to do something like that for an accountant or bookkeeper. And a smart investment is only smart when you use it. The other thing you can probably test is the red and green light test for spending, which I've heard about it and I have tried it with a few of my clients and it seems to work. They kind of get it. So if you're not sure, run your decision through this. Red light is pause. And if you have these thoughts like, I'm buying this because I'm panicked, I hope this will fix everything, I'm not sure how I'll pay for it, it feels urgent, but I can't explain why, that's emotional spending and that's a no, or at least a not yet. So that will be a red light, pause. Don't purchase anything when you're having those thoughts. And green light or proceed is when I've planned for this. This solves a clear, specific problem. I've mapped out the ROI. I can afford this without touching my tax, payroll, or essentials. So if it's green, go ahead. You've got permission. And if it's red, breathe, pause, and revisit later with more clarity. So, what's the big takeaway from today's episode? Don't invest from stress. Invest from strength. And strength comes from structure. So here's a challenge. Open a next best thing, or whatever else you want to call this new account, and start putting just 1 to 3% of your monthly revenue into it. And this is your future investment buffer. The next time the right opportunity comes, you'll already be in a position to say yes with confidence, not stress. And as a bonus tip, look back at the last 3 business investments you've made. What are they? What was the result? Would you say yes to them again? And that's how you build financial wisdom, one decision at a time. And that's it for today's episode. Thanks for joining me for the Money First CEO, where we put money first and the rest will follow. If this episode helped you make a smarter investment decision or saved you from panic purchase, share it with a fellow entrepreneur building intentionally. Until next time, lead with clarity, invest with purpose, and keep putting yourself and your business first. Thanks for hanging out with me on Money First CEO. If you got value from this episode, hit subscribe, drop a 5-star review, and share it with someone who's building their business too. All the goodies are in the show notes, and you can find me on socials for more tips and tools to help you. Until next time, keep putting money first, and the rest will follow.